And down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, Daybreak, we have our red Terran player from Empire, the one and only King Joffrey, Braddock. Braddock. Here in the upper right-hand corner, we have from Karont3 Esports Club, our blue Terran player, Mikael. He's won game number 1. He's trying to make it a 2-0 lead.
So Braddock is King Joffrey now.
Yeah.
He used to be Prince Joffrey.
Yes.
But before that, he was Draco Malfoy.
He was Draco Malfoy,
he's
yes.
got quite a good acting career, this Braddock guy. He's also pretty good at Terran in StarCraft 2, so he's got that going for him. And yeah, we'll have to see what he's going to try and do to Mikael that BC Cutie was unable to do. Well,
we'll see here now as I mean, this is a map we talked about Marine Tank in the last game. This can become Super Marine Tank. This map though can actually lend itself more to mech than the last one did, because you do have the tighter running paths, places that are kind of cordoned off with destructible debris and Zelnaga towers. So you can set up very defensive mech positions there if you want.
Yeah, but as we saw in the last game, you know, that one big engagement can totally swing the game in someone's favor. Beastie Cutie was, you know, more or less ahead for the first. I don't know. He lost some workers to Hellions at the beginning. Banshee didn't really work out too great, but every engagement that they kind of poked back and forth, that tank advantage, made it look like Beastie was rolling quite well. But after he split his forces, swung in from the top first, lost those forces, then swung in from the left bottom side and didn't have nearly enough. So having that attack get squashed really started Mikael on his rampage back across the map. So Braddock is really going to have to make sure not to make any positioning errors like we saw there.
Nice job by Mikael just to make sure to check for proxies. This is a map where, I mean, I remember in our Tournament of Champions, it seemed like every single game we were having Marauder Hellion all-ins, proxy Marauder Hellion all-ins even. So you've got to make sure to check this space down here. Mikael did, Braddock has not, but it's going to work out for him because Mikael is, of course, not doing any sort of proxy Gs. All
right, it looks like Braddock is just going to go ahead and get that command center down very, very quickly. Mikael is trying it to change it up a little bit. Did he deny the SCV? I think he must have.
Yes, he did.
With that first Marine, or actually with the supply depot block in that first Marine. But 2 gas pretty quickly, so factory most likely going to be showing up here momentarily.
2 gas pre-factory, no less. So a lot of times when you see Cloaked Banshees or super gas tech-intensive builds, you see that second refinery coming up as the factory is being constructed. It would pop up in about 5 or 6 seconds from now. In this case, though, Mikael is going to have an astounding amount of gas very, very early on.
Yep, already dumping all the SCVs required for maximum saturation into the refinery. So the first factory will finish up in a few moments while Braddock is still getting his first base, his first expansion actually constructed. 2 more barracks being added on there, so at least he will be able to defend himself somewhat if Mikael does show up unexpected with a bunch of Hellions.
Okay, but, you know, Mikael, he's obviously going to put up a starport here in a second or so, I would assume. Or,
Tech Lab?
Let's see. I mean, maybe we're going to see like a big Marine Hellion Viking push at the beginning, a 1-1-1 style play. I'm still a little bit shocked that he's not putting up a starport, I have to say. He's going to go right into siege technology, it looks like, and he actually gives away the fact that there's a reactor barracks and a tech lab factory on the bottom. Which
to Braddock means, okay, I don't know what he's doing. Like, basically, really super fast siege tech is a possibility. He is using it to make a tank very quickly, but does he have the gas? It's 100
There
gas.
we go. There's starport.
Okay, so the starport was just a bit lagged, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm really not sure why he didn't build that just as soon as humanly possible. The first tank obviously is going to delay the starport quite a bit, but why a tank over a fast starport, I'm not sure. We'll have to see where he's actually going with this, but Braddock on the other side still just cranking out Marines, getting stim research pretty quickly, and that's going to get him started for this game on Daybreak. Okay, well, Mikael going right into a second tank, or he would if he wasn't supply blocked. He was finishing up a supply depot right now, though. There it is off the left-hand side, so it's not too delayed, but still kind of a weird order to go about things. There's finally siege mode. I would have figured he would have started that right away. And we'll see if we get... He has enough for a Viking. He has enough for a medevac. I have to imagine medevac. Yeah, I think it looks like a tank drop. Yeah. But I mean, I say that kind of hesitantly because I haven't seen a tank drop in quite a long time. You know, just a small number of tanks. I have seen like entire armies, you know, 5, 6, 7 medevacs worth of stuff loaded up, including lots and lots of Marines. You know, basically the idea there is you just drop the tanks immediately, get them sieged up, and then bring in wave after wave of Marine to try and protect them, or at least bait units into the siege fire. But basically this is still kind of perplexing to me. Sending 2 SCVs along for the ride, not sure if they're going to be intended for bunkers or just repairmen, but with the medevac along as well, he can do some lifting action, and we'll see soon what he's actually intending with that. And so will Braddock, because he's got the unlocked tower.
Yeah, Braddock sees everything, and looks like he's planning to meet this force in the middle. He wants to take it out before it can get a position up on him, and he can't start sieging up down at the bottom of this ramp if he wants to. He picks up one of his tanks immediately, and he'll have to be very careful about how he assaults this.
All right, he's going to inch forward. He does have siege tech completed, so he is going to stagger these tanks a little bit, try and bait these Marines and Marauders back into the siege tank fire. He can basically leapfrog this, and that's exactly what he's doing. SCV's actually being pulled offline. Braddock does not want to take any chances here. He does definitely want to have the SCVs take some damage while the Marines surge forward, and with only 1 tank remaining, Mikuel's attack looks like it's probably going to fall flat here.
Yeah, I mean, almost need to unsiege it and pick it up, but he can't, and the medevac has to back out, and this is a big advantage for Braddock. He shut down that, he killed 2 tanks, and he's, you know, he may be behind in tech at the moment, but he's got a huge amount of upgraded bioforces pouring onto the field.
He did lose a few SCVs to tank fire. Can we look at just workers lost? 9 SCVs killed actually by Mikuel. The SCV count, though, is still favoring Braddock, of course, because he did have that command center up so much earlier. So Mikuel's attack really did not do the damage that he needed it to.
He's doing the right thing now, though, and that's double expanding out of this. But will Braddock just let that happen is the question. He's got a very mobile bioforce that's already being upgraded and already being sent out on the map with medevacs in tow in about 2 minutes in game.
I'm curious if you know, after the first game, BCQD, I'm sure BCQD looked at the replay, but did he share it? And, you know, did they go over it before making their next player selection? Because they saw, if they did look at the replay, they saw the hidden base that Mikuel took. So it is possible that, I mean, Braddock is checking basically everywhere now on the southern side of the map to be able to make sure that Mikuel hasn't expanded some more sneaky to, you know, verify that that Braddock is indeed ahead in economy. And he is actually going to take that 3rd base now as well for himself. But it looks like it is spotted by one of Mikuel's Marines.
Yeah, well done. It's going to get cleaned up here in a second, but of course now Mikuel has denied that for about 15 or 20 seconds, and he has a perfect idea of what's going on.
Yep, and he actually knows where most of Braddock's troops are, so he saw that little contingent there. This contingent is off by itself. Mikuel doesn't really have any position to be able to go assault anything, though, so Braddock can still have plenty of time to get his forces back together. You can see a pretty large, significant supply difference as well as bank saved up for Braddock. He can actually basically go any direction he wants to from here, only getting 1 bio upgrade at a time. I think he should probably just add on another engineering bay and get set for upgrades while he's got this time to breathe and this little bit of an advantage he's built for himself.
Okay, well, Mikuel does have that 3rd orbital command just finishing up now, and let's see, that is engineering bay number 1 at the moment for Mikuel, but of course, while he has this very nice, cool tank position, he's going to have to be worried about big drops around the side, and it looks like he is setting up for it a bit with siege tanks in place, but of course no turrets are in position yet because that engineering base is not quite done.
Braddock is still searching around the map, looking for anything that shouldn't be there. He's not going to find anything, of course, though. Mikuel is pretty well contained inside his own base. With these 2 medevacs adding along, he could try and set up for a drop. It looks like Mikuel will actually be prepared with that Viking, so he can at least do some spotting for medevacs. They're not going to come all the way around the backside there on patrols. Good idea. And Braddock actually most likely is going to be trying to assault the front. That could be a problem, though, with the multiple tanks that Mikuel's got defending at home.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be difficult for him to assault that directly for now, but, you know, if he can soften up the front and start dropping over here in towards the main, just off to the side, which it looks like he's going to do. If he pulls units apart, that's really what he wants to do, is pull his opponent apart with those entrenched tanks. So tanks aren't quite in range there. Braddock already losing 1 supply depot and may lose an orbital command here in a second. Looks like SCVs are finally starting to repair this up. 1 tank does get picked off, and the Marines are going to catch up. Not, unfortunately, without Stem going to be able to catch up pick off the medevacs, though.
Okay, so he did force some action inside the main base, did not press into the natural, but look at the supply count lead. It's still growing. Now about 40 supply ahead, working off of 3 bases. Braddock is just putting everything into bio. 6 to 8 Marines at a time being churned out. He's got a quite large Marine count advantage, and he is actually, you know, cranking out medevacs and tank at the same rate as Mikuel, also getting superior upgrades at the time, so Braddock's still shaping up to look pretty good in this game. Both
players are very supply blocked. 2 supply depots coming up for Braddock, 3 coming up right now for Mikael as their supplies continue to increase. Mikael wanting to make sure he's not going to be supply blocked for a while. And that does temporarily set back Braddock, but he still has way, way more forces out than his opponent does.
Yeah, and once they all get together like this, Stim and Medivacs are going to be the perfect combination. If he can rush down all these tanks, he can actually use Marauders to send in first. He is actually going to just test the water, take one big blast, but nothing died. He does have some Medivacs to be able to heal up, and he is actually going to split forces once again, it looks like, loading up a full Medivac toward the main.
And what's there waiting for this? A patrolling Viking, several Marines, and missile turrets. So it's going to be difficult to get through there. But, oh no, he's just going to get right on top of the tanks, and he will. Draws the fire away, and that's all he wanted to do while he moves up the rest of the bio forces. One of the tanks have already fallen. The second is going to go down here in just a second. Second, third, and fourth, I might add, in this base is all but dead.
Pretty sick play there by Braddock. He is actually going to take full advantage of this. He still has superior forces. He is going to actually dodge back out of that siege tank range. Still has some Marauders standing, but pick off the base. That's the huge important part, and maintains a 60 supply lead now.
And not just a supply lead, but a supply lead that involves tanks at the moment. He actually has a greater tank count than his opponent, who has been producing them literally the entire game. He's converted over to straight Marine tank. He, in fact, has +1 attacks just about to finish up for those as well. Let me go ahead and take a look at any of the tanks. Yeah, Mikael does not have +1 attacks done himself.
Yeah, it's nearly finished for Braddock there, and +2 armor for his bio. He's got lots of Marines and tanks coming out. He's got a good position. He's already taken out that third base of Mikael, so he could just bounce right back in, continue to be annoying there, or try to split his enemy's attention once more, try and load up some more drops. The natural has not really been attacked into yet, and it looks like that is where he's headed for the time being.
Does not have siege mode, though, so that's the only thing that's going to go against him, but I don't think he's going to need it. He just has such a crushing force here. He does have to move out of the range of these 2 siege tanks, and does so successfully, getting flanked just a bit by a lot of SEVs. Hopefully he'll be able to pick up some units here. In addition, he loses quite a bit of attacking forces, but he's just murdering everything that Mikael has on the map. There's G, there's GG, and that's going to be the game. Empire ties things up. Braddock doing his job.
Yeah, Braddock did actually switch it up from what we saw from Beastie, you know, put much more of an emphasis on Marine count and Marine upgrades. He did actually get some drop damage in, so that's, you know, that's a nice way to kick off kind of a stalemate where they were, you know, they're basically letting each other breathe for a while, and then Braddock had that nice drop into the main, managed to take out a supply depot, force some action out of Mikael that maybe he didn't want to have to do, and steadily built up that supply advantage as well. So really, I think the snowball started right with Mikael's first attack. He did kind of a funky build to kick things off, went over with those 2 tanks, and Braddock just said, okay, whatever, I've got Marauders, it's over. Like, I'm just going to start building my advantage now, and eventually took the win.
Well, up next for Karont3 is one of their official members. It is going to be LOL versus XD. So not one of the brothers Lucifron and Vortex. It is going to be LOL versus XD, and that apparently is just his name, by the way. Yeah. So there you go. We're going to run to a commercial break, and when we get back, it's going to be time for game number 3. We'll see who breaks this tie between Empire and Karont3 Esports Club.